Which is a better buy, the S23 Plus or the OnePlus 13 here? So this is a pretty interesting comparison. The S23 Plus you can find for around the $450 price point on Amazon, eBay, and it's a very solid phone to consider. This is a used refurbished version right here. And the OnePlus 13, you can actually find this phone brand new, and it is $599. And you can actually trade in any phone in any condition, and you can get this phone, you know, for around that $500 price point, which is really nice. So which phone do you get? Let's go ahead and dive in here. So let's actually talk about the design. You actually do have a very nice design on the OnePlus 13 as well as the S23 Plus here. They're both pretty comfortable to hold as well. One thing that I do like about the OnePlus 13 is you do have that mute vibration switch, which we don't have on, you know, the Galaxy devices, which I really like. And also the premium materials on here are really nice. So if they both feel, you know, really, you know, luxurious, I guess. They both have a matte finish. I do like the camera design on both of these phones. And then you also do have IP68 dust and water resistant on the S23 Plus, but you only have IP65 waterproof and dust proof on the OnePlus 13R, so not as good. But besides that, I think hardware wise, they're both pretty even when it comes to design and overall the feeling. So this year, OnePlus has done a pretty good job with the display on the OnePlus 13. It's actually pretty impressive. Now, it does have the LTPO AMOLED display, 120 Hz HDR10 Plus. We do have 4500 nits peak brightness. It's a 6.78 inch display. And then we also do have a 1264 by 2780 resolution, and it's 450 for the PPI. The S23 Plus has a 6.6 inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 Plus, 1750 nits peak brightness. So it is, the OnePlus 13R is, you know, brighter outdoors in direct sunlight. So if we're at the beach or something, it is a 1080p display, 393 for the PPI. The displays look pretty good on here. I do like the way the Samsung panel looks as far as the colors, but the OnePlus looks very good, guys. It's not a bad display by any means. Both of these phones have very good screen to body ratio as well too, so you get that nice, you know, slim bezels on the top and bottom here. So show you guys, pretty nice bezels on both of these phones here. So the display, like I said, is great on both. Alright, so let's talk about the specs a little bit more here. So on the OnePlus 13R, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on here. This is running Android 15. And then we also have 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage on here. And then on the S23 Plus, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on here. This is running Android 14, soon to get Android 15. And then this is 256 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. So overall, the speed of these two phones are pretty good. Phones are pretty fast when you're, you know, just navigating through the phone. Speed and animations are pretty nice here. When we talk about app loading here, let's see, make sure we're out of everything. Talk about app loading. Let's see which one is faster. Okay, S23 actually got it there. Super smooth on both. Pretty much a tie. TikTok. Looked like the 13 got it there. YouTube. That looked like a tie. Instagram. Looked like the OnePlus got it there slightly, but we had a pop-up right there. That was the S23. So you can see not that big of a difference here when it comes to speed. It's kind of going back and forth a little bit. But just know that these two phones are very fast phones. Let's go ahead and launch PUBG here. Now, as far as gaming performance goes, the 8 Gen 2 does a very good job with gaming. We're still able to play PUBG at 120 frames. We don't really have overheating problems. And the gaming experience feels pretty much the same here. So yes, you do get higher scores on the OnePlus 13R because of the newer processor, but it roughly is going to feel the same as we saw with, you know, animations, loading stuff up, playing video games. This again plays at 120 frames as well. So maybe down the line we'll see start to see a difference, but for right now you really don't see too much of a performance difference here. We're at max volume with the speakers. Let's start with the OnePlus. So this is an area where OnePlus kind of cut the corners a little bit here, because the speakers on the S23 Plus sound much more higher quality as far as the sound. The OnePlus is loud, but it just lacks the quality. It just overall has a cleaner sound on the S23 Plus, so I definitely prefer that speaker. Now, as far as the fingerprint scanner here, this is another area where the S23 Plus has more of a flagship experience. It has the ultrasonic, so you can basically like tap these. It's much faster than the optical ones. Now, the optical ones really aren't that bad. They've gotten really good to the point where, you know, you just can't lightly tap them like on a S23 Plus. Really cool feature the OnePlus 13R has is that you actually do have an IR blaster on here. So you can go ahead and set this up and you could, you know, do everything from TVs to robots to projectors. It's a very cool feature to be able to have essentially a universal remote. So this is probably the most interesting part, because are the cameras on par with an, you know, slightly older flagship like the S23 Plus? So on the S23 Plus, we do have a 50 megapixel standard, a 10 megapixel telephoto that does 3 times optical. We do have up to 30 times zoom. We have 8K 24 and 30 video with a 12 megapixel ultra wide. This does have a 12 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60. Now the OnePlus has a dual 50 megapixel sensors, 50 megapixel standard, 50 megapixel telephoto, 8 megapixel ultra wide. That telephoto is 2 times, and then it goes up to 20 times. And then we also do have 4K 60 video and a 16 megapixel selfie that only shoots in 1080-30. So let's check out these side-by-side stills and video. Let me know what you guys think. Now, battery life has been very good with my S23 Plus. I really don't have an issue with screen on time with this phone, but you do have a much bigger battery on the OnePlus 13R here. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery versus the 4,700 milliamp hour battery on the S23 Plus. So you should get better screen on time with the OnePlus 13R. Now, you do have a difference in charging speeds. You have 45 watts on the S23 Plus, but you also do get wireless and reverse wireless charging, which the 13R lacks. But it does make up for that with 80 watt charging, and they do give you the charger in the box, which is pretty cool. So you do have that on there. So overall, this is a very interesting comparison. I'm really curious to see what you guys actually think. Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.